Hi, I'm Tia Solson and welcome to another of our brewing tea videos. In today's video I would like to show you a method to actually deliciously brew an organic tea. And why should an organic tea be different? Well, a tea harvested from an organically produced tea bush, and especially the teas that I select from my producer in Nara, are teas that are not further blended. So that means that the tea only has the specifications that the terroir around that tea bush of that tea farm, so that means the soil, the climate, etc., induces upon that bush, as well as the flavor that that bush inherently has within it. And what you get due to blending is that you have different types of cultivars, different types of regions, etc., that are brought together, and you blend it in order to create a flavor that has certain layers, has certain depth and difference. But with an organically produced single estate, single cultivar organic tea or sencha, you only have what that bush can provide. So there's no additional influences, and also there's no fertilization used, except for what is natural as to forest litter. But some of you might say that this tea or this type of sencha is too pale, too insufficient. It's just not enough. And however, I may not exactly agree with that, because I enjoy the simplicity of the flavor and to actually try to figure out what the difference is for this cultivar as compared to another cultivar, etc., etc. But in order to just drink and enjoy a delicious cup of green tea, I understand that many of you would actually want to have a depth of flavor, a set of tastes to actually go through. Now with standard teas, that is done through blending. But I will introduce you to a brewing method which you can use to actually recreate, or at least create something similar as to depth and layers of flavor with a single estate, single cultivar organic sencha. So what we have here is, of course, the tea. I have hot water, because for this we're not going to cool down the water at all. We're just going to use hot boiled water. I have a small cuse. I have a larger vessel, and I've chosen a glass vessel so that you can see what happens inside, and then of course the cups to drink the tea from last. And it takes a little bit of time. What we're going to do is to make six infusions after each other, and we're going to bring them all together in this larger cup. And as I said, we're not going to cool down the water. We are going to take hot water and make short infusions. So what I've done now is inserted the tea leaf into the cup, and as a standard measure, for the first 5 infusions we will use about 50 milliliters of water. So if you take about 5 grams of tea, which you will use through the entire process, that should be sufficient. And I will fill this cuse up half for the first 5 infusions, so that I get about 50 centiliters of tea out of it. So I'll show it to you for the first one. So we have inserted 5 grams of tea. I will now add 50 centiliters of hot boiling water. And for the first brew, I would say let it stand for about 10 seconds in order to give the tea time to open. But then quite immediately pour out the brew. And each time try to pour out to at least the last drop, well, as far as possible. So that was the first time, and now we continue doing this another 4 times. And you pour in the water, close the lid, not even 10 seconds later, quite immediately pour out. And this is the second edition. Because we're using hot water and I'm using a small infuse actually, it gets very hot. I have to fiddle a little bit with my fingers because otherwise I might burn them. So this is the third time, and you can see, even though we're only doing these very short infusions, the color of the tea is already becoming quite yellow greenish, quite strong. So that was a third. Now we're going for a fourth. And then next, the last one, which is the fifth. And so by doing this, actually, you add, well, the first infusion, then the second. And if you're used to drinking sencha, then you know that the first infusion might taste different from the second infusion, and the third infusion will have again other accents that are expressed. And you drink infusion after infusion in order to enjoy those different flavors. So this was the fifth time that I did 50 centiliters immediately, and the leaf has come open quite a lot already, but there's still a lot of flavor that we also want to extract. So what I do now is I add full juices, that's about 100 milliliters. This is for the sixth time that we add water. So that is 100 milliliters of water, so double of what we used before. And I let this stand for about 1 minute. And in the meantime, I will explain to you further about what this does to your flavor. So as I said, first, second and third infusion all have different flavors. And you drink those after each other in order to taste what the first infusion tastes like, and then have a different enjoyment with the second and a different with the third. Now, the same principle is actually applied here, only we add all those flavors together. So you've got a first, a second, a third, a fourth, you've got the fifth, and now the sixth, which will add a lot more bitterness because we're actually waiting about a minute before we add the brew of that infusion to our 5 brews that we've already added together in our cup. So doing that, you get the flavor from each individual infusion mingled together, which will give a lot more depth and well, complicated flavor to the brew. And if you look at this can, you can see it's half full. You've got way more than what you need for just 2 cups. So this brewing method is not only good to get a deeper flavor or more enjoyment from what you might call a rather simplistic tea, but you also get a larger amount at once. So if you're at work and you say, I need my tea, but you don't want to go make one infusion and then the other infusion and always have to run back just for a little cup, you can have this and just take it to your desk. Or when you have visitors, you can make a large amount and make tea for everyone all together. So I'd say definitely try to apply this method to one of the organic teas that we serve, that we provide at the Tea Crane, and let me know what you think. I think this is one of the much more interesting and easier ways to actually brew a tea. Only it might take a little bit of time in order to get through all the 6 infusions, but after you have it, it will grant you a lot more enjoyment in various ways. Thank you for watching. I hope this was interesting and informational for you, and I hope you look forward to more videos on my brewing tips and other tea related information. And if you're still watching, please do subscribe to our channel. We also have a daily video going out on tea called well, the Daily Tea series, and I speak about tea ceremony, tea in general, Japanese tea. If I visit a tea farm, I add a video about that, and much more interesting information. So be sure to subscribe and don't miss any of our videos. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.